तत्तत्कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संगत्याग सतो वृत्ते sadvirbhakti prasidhyati. Any Prabhuji or Mataji would like to lead?
उत्साहो निश्चयात् धैर्यात् तत्तत् कर्मा प्रवर्तनात् संगत्यागत शतो भ्रतेहो शतवीर्भक्तिर प्रसिद्धति.
उत्साहात् निश्चयात् कर्म प्रवर्तना संगत्यागात् सतो वृत्ते षष्ठवीर्भक्ति प्रसिद्धति.
Thank you.
उत्साह निश्चयात् धैर्यात् तत्तत् कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संगत्यागास्तो वृत्तेः षड्भी भक्ति प्रसिद्धयति.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Prabhujis and Matajis. Synonyms: Utsahat by enthusiasm, Nishchayat by confidence, Dharyat by patience, Tat karma, various activities favorable for devotional service, Pravartana by performing, Sangatyaga by giving up the association of non-devotees, Sata of the great previous acharyas, Vritte by following in the footsteps, Sadbhi by these six, Bhakti devotional service, Prasiddhyati advances or becomes successful. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. There are 6 principles favorable to the execution of pure devotional service: being enthusiastic, endeavoring with confidence, being patient, acting according to regulative principles such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna, abandoning the association of non-devotees, and following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Devotional service is not a matter of sentimental speculation or imaginative ecstasy. Its substance is practical activity. Sri Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.1.11 has defined devotional service as Anyabhilasita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam Anukulena Krishnanu Shilanam Bhakti Uttama. Uttama Bhakti or unalloyed devotion into the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna involves the rendering of devotional service in a way that is favorable to the Lord. The devotional service should be free from an extraneous motive and devoid of fruitive karma, impersonal jnana, and all other selfish desires. Bhakti is a sort of cultivation. As soon as we say cultivation, we must refer to activities. Cultivation of spirituality doesn't mean sitting down idly for meditation, as some pseudo yogis teach. Such idle meditation may be good for those who have no information of devotional service, and for this reason it is sometimes recommended as a way to check distracting materialistic activities. Meditation means stopping all nonsensical activities, at least for the time being. Devotional service, however, not only puts an end to all nonsensical mundane activities, but also engages one in meaningful devotional service. Sri Prahlad Maharaj recommends Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. The 9 processes of devotional service are as follows: hearing the name and glories of Supreme Personality of Godhead, chanting His glories, remembering the Lord, serving the Lord's feet, worshipping the deity, offering obeisances unto the Lord, acting as the Lord's servant, making friends with the Lord, surrendering oneself fully to the Lord. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurmritam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaham Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavameshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Paramami Haripi. पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवाश आदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने Balavodra Subhadrabhyam Jagannathaya Namo. So thank you so much for joining this wonderful series on Nectar of Instruction by Srila Rupa Goswami, one of the 6 prominent Goswami of our movement. And in this Nectar of Instruction, he is slowly building up the case of traits for a devotee. What should devotees typically possess? And in this verse, he talks about 6 qualities a devotee should possess. Utsaha. Utsaha means enthusiasm. And so beautifully he's explaining, and we'll go over each of this. He's talking about utsaha, enthusiasm, and then after enthusiasm, he talks about confidence of or faith in the scriptures, in the Guru Parampara, patience, dharya, then executing principles, following prescriptions, following prohibitions, avoid material association unfavorable to bhakti, following previous acharyas. So these are the 6 qualities Rupa Goswami is saying we all should possess in order to foster our bhakti. See what happens whenever you do not have enthusiasm. In the beginning of Krishna consciousness, we have a lot of enthusiasm. We really want to follow the regulative principle, chant with intent. But as the day progresses, we become very mundane, very mechanical in our ability. We don't think the power of the holy name is significant enough to get us out of this world. Our faith, which is the number 2, on the holy name decreases. Whenever we look at, the other facilities like meditation, when people look inwards, people stay still and they can see everything. And here you chant mechanically and then you do not get the same ruchi or shraddha, then your confidence goes down. And this is where we have to resort to enthusiasm. See what happens, enthusiasm is contagious. If you are enthusiastic, you'll breed into somebody else. If you're not enthusiastic, if you're always drooping in your ability, wherein you are not excited about Rath Yatra, Janmashtami, or Govardhan Puja, which is coming up, we will always go down, and we will not only go down, we'll go down with 5 or 10 other people. So the enthusiasm is a thing which is so methodical. If you think about enthusiasm, and today is the Sara, today is the day where Ravana had to be killed because, and Ravana basically knew that he is going to be dead. He had no qualms, he had no doubt that that a human being in the form of Lord Sri Ram is going to come and is going to spare him. He had absolutely full intent that he is going to be done. But in spite of that, he kept on staying with the war. He kept on staying with the war. He not only killed himself, he killed the entire Lanka. He killed the entire sons of him. He was so selfish. By his act, he killed his sons. And by his act, he killed his brother, Kumbhakarna. He killed his beautiful, lovely son, Indrajit. Because he just couldn't accept the fact, and he was in the wrong enthusiasm. He was thinking that somehow or other, he was having that illusory thing that he will somehow win it. But he had conviction that he is going to be killed. But he never ever spared for his selfish attitude, for his obstinacy, for his ability to stay with the words he has exhibited. He literally destroyed the entire Lanka dynasty. It's precisely because he had the wrong enthusiasm. And at the same time, if you look at Hanumanji didn't know that the medicinal value lies in a tree, and that tree happens to be so and so. So he was so enthusiastic that when the time came to be enthusiastic, he lifted the entire mountain and the medicinal plant happened to be in that mountain which Hanumanji lifted. So you see the contrary here, how enthusiasm breeds, and in a person
Durga, I thought you were on the table.
with love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead could lift the entire mountain and bring it back to the war zone, because Lakshman would be relieved of the armory which was executed on him. And at the same time, in order to keep his ego, in order to keep obstinacy, you see a person who is enthusiastically killing the entire dynasty. So you can compare and contrast as to how enthusiasm can breed positively and how enthusiasm could be breed negatively. And that is the reason why we have to be always enthusiastic. And that is where, there are a lot of Gyanis in this world. They have come up with books. And just now I was coming in the airport. There's a lot of books in the airports where there is a lot of spirituality and there's a lot of pictorial representation of our gods, our ability to decipher why something is something. And it looks very classy. If a person comes up and he comes up with a theory, it looks very classy. And sometimes when a person does some karma, it looks very classy that a person has come up with a book. But at the end of the day, we should stay indifferent to the so-called Gyanis who are very temporary. And you see these bestsellers they have in this airport stalls in W.H. Smith and all. The books will go, and after some time, these books will never prevail. But this Nectar of Instruction, this small book by Rupa Goswami, has prevailed 500 years, and the essence of bhakti and the tenets of bhakti is still built into it. It doesn't. So we have to have tremendous confidence. Moving to the second topic, confidence or faith in the scriptures or in the Guru. See, our Guru Parampara is full of heroic characters. If you look at some of our, at the time, 500 years ago, there was a lot of magic. There will be people who will be doing some magic, and there will be a lot of mantra, tantra. 500 years, they will get excavation of some deity. The deity would be Radha Krishna deity, but they will make it look like, some other deity. And eventually, it was all based on lok katha, no scriptures. So most of the time, when you go and in India, you end up doing karma kanda. It's all filled with karma kanda, where the scriptures, the Garuda Purana, based on which all the activities are supposed to be done, is not followed. People have dwelled on it. People have made folk twist on those karma kanda. So that's the reason why, if we do not have confidence and faith, you will go with the intent to serve your forefathers, serve somebody, but at the end of the day, you'll be end up doing something which is hodgepodge. So that's the reason why we have to have strong confidence and faith, because when we go and talk to these people on the or in the family, they do not understand that we know so much based on how Srila Prabhupada has laid out. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Krishna has so beautifully explained, where is the position of Krishna, where is, Karnadakshaya Vishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Kiradakshaya Vishnu, how from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, from the navel, Brahma has come, and how from the forehead of Brahma, Lord Rudra, who is indirectly Shiva, has come from Brahmaji. And it's so beautifully explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srila Prabhupada hasn't written it. It was written by Vyasa, and Srila Prabhupada just translated it. But people are not willing to believe it. And on this age, wherever this is the time when today we should be celebrating the victory of good over evil, where Ravana is killed, there are other beliefs where there are following of other pastimes, and it's fine as long as it is done with the intent to arouse bhakti. It is fine, but in the intent Bhakti, what happens is there are countless creatures who are killed and offered, and this is exactly where people go astray and they don't follow the scriptures. And the third point, which is so beautifully explained in Nectar of Instruction by Srila Rupa Goswami, is patience. Srila Prabhupada wrote Bhagavad Gita, and when he was looking for money to print, he came to a different place, and by the time he went back to his home, some of the people in their homes, they have actually sold it. You sell used newspapers. Likewise, they sold all the translation of Bhagavad Gita. He did. Srila Prabhupada has to write Bhagavad Gita translation again. And so, how much patience he had, how much conviction and determination he had in translating Bhagavad Gita for the betterment of people like us, who someday, because our kids do not have the knowledge to learn local language Bhagavad Gita transcriptions, Sanskrit or Hindi or whatever the case may be. So, and that is where Srila Prabhupada made the greatest scripture of the world, the Song of God, available to the whole world. All of a sudden, you see Bhagavad Gita translated to hundreds of languages in various different languages, because unless he would end up doing to English, there won't be any translation possible from English to the other language. And what is service, if you think about it? He made Bhagavad Gita accessible, available, and it was all possible by his strong determination and conviction. And that is why, and also important is executing principles. The fifth thing which Rupa Goswami is saying is following principles and following prohibitions. So when Hanumanji went to Lanka, he had the full audacity, he had the full courage, he had the full sentiment, he had the full muscle power alone to kill Ravana and come back. There is no doubt about it. Because Hanumanji is Vayu personified, and whenever he ends up doing something, and as he is a total surrendered soul of Lord Sri Ram, he was capable of getting rid of Ravana and getting Mother Sita back. But at that time, Lord Ram told him to identify the placement of Mother Sita. Where is Mother Sita? Just locate and come back. And what did Hanumanji do? He just followed the prescription. He followed the prohibitions, do's and don't. And he didn't do anything beyond that. And in the process, what he did, he influenced fear in the minds of Lanka Vasis, that if a monkey can come and burn the entire Lanka down, when the full army comes, what would be the entire situation? So stay with the principles, 16 rounds, regulation, and don't try to overdo. And once we try overdoing things, we make it very difficult for us, ability to follow, Ekadasi or Chaturmasya or Purushottammas. And it becomes, Krishna consciousness becomes a very tiring event. So don't overdo things which you think is difficult for you to keep. Executing principles, because principles is going to take us everywhere. If you are principled enough, you're principled in understanding the concepts laid out in Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam. Implementations vary, but the principles still the same. And if we follow the principles properly, we will definitely go with this. Sometimes what happens, coming to the fifth point, what happens, as you know, Mother Kaikeyi was very dear to Lord Ram, was very, very dear to Lord Ram. Kaushalya Maharani, who gave birth to Mother Ram, has accepted that Mother Kaikeyi loves Ram more than anything. There are life lessons from Ramayana we all should yearned to live. But what did Mother Kaikeyi did? Mother Kaikeyi, by wrongdoing, she had the bad association of Manthara. And once the bad association of Manthara crept in, the entire goodies, entire good qualities of Mother Kaikeyi got erased. From the greatest mom, who was an archery queen, who helped Dashrath Maharaj shoot arrows when Dashrath Maharaj and Kaikeyi Maharani used to go on a rampage on the battlefield. Kaikeyi Maharani was so strong, she has so much great qualities that she is going to help her husband, not just in the path of bhakti, but in the path of warfare as well. She was the greatest queen in the whole world, but sheer bad association. So Goswami says, avoid material association, which is unfavorable to bhakti. You might be having the best of the things, but a time will come, you will start to associate with others, and they will take you against a direction where they will try to bias you against some form of management, some form of this, because this management is just a byproduct of all this bhakti. That's really not the real product. It's actually not even a byproduct, it's a waste product. So if by being in the management is not fostering management of a temple or whatever, that's when the politics tend to creep in. Then you start doing groupism, and then you do guru groupism, as Bhakti Charu Maharaj used to say. Then eventually you are totally in a wrong direction. You're constantly not thinking about chanting or improving your reading of scriptures or helping in temple. You're always trying to find fault in this management, that management, this. So avoid material association, which is unfavorable to bhakti. You would know it if following friendship with somebody is taking you away from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just avoid it. And the last but not the least, following previous acharyas. So acharyas have created this wonderful institution based on his achar. Achar means by their behavior. Without good achar, there is no good prachar. So in Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned, yad yad acharati shrashta. If a person at higher position follows the principle and does work, if a king is not corrupt, if a king is always taking care of the subject will take care of other subjects. If the king becomes corrupt, then every subject will become corrupt, and the place will be filled with kali, quarrel, and hypocrisy. So our acharyas have led a life of exemplary values, have led a life of strong messages. If you look at the life and style of Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami had a heroic life, and how he created, how this merchant came in Yamuna and his ship got entangled. It's a discussion for a different day. And actually, in 17th century, when there was a lot of Apasampradaya, there are acharyas in our movement who have initiated elephants. There will be mad elephants who will be trained to kill our acharyas, and how acharyas, by the power of holy name, have not only controlled the elephant, but there are so many such wonderful scriptural references of our acharyas. Our acharyas have led a very exemplary life, starting from Brahmaji. We are Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya. Brahmaji was an exemplary person created by Garbhodaksha Vishnu. Madhavacharya, who is an incarnation of Hanuman, whose appearance day was in this 1 or 2 days. then Brahma Madhav, Gaudiya Sampradaya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the five, and the six acharyas, followed by the other acharyas, followed by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and then Srila Prabhupada, and the followers of Srila Prabhupada as well. They had been through bad association in their prior life, but once they start mixing with Krishna consciousness, got association of a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, they changed. And they are all historic in their nature. How they stood up the Juhu temple, how was the Vrindavan temple came into picture, how was Bhubaneswar temple came into picture by Govinda Swami Maharaj. There's a book, a movie can be made with any of these acharyas. They're heroes in their own light. And if we can recognize that, if we can follow in the footsteps of those acharyas, we would. So I can go on and on. I'm not feeling well. So enthusiasm, confidence or faith, patience, executing principles, avoid material association unfavorable to bhakti. And in that, in the enthusiasm, there is a very subtle point around staying indifferent to jnana and karma. Sometimes the jnana and karma becomes very rosy to us. Sometimes the scientific temper, they come to us and they tell us, how good this posture is, that air outlet posture is, and eventually it's very crazy in the sense you feel good about some of the scientific things because we live in a scientific world. We live in an artificial intelligent machine learning world. So we've become very inspired. But if you think about it, these are all short-lived items. So we have to stay very connected in our ability to follow the regulation and chant our rounds. So staying indifferent to jnana and karma is very significant. And unless we understand it, we will. And sometimes, whenever we are doing first round diksha, second round diksha, we do not have patience. And there are a lot of people in our temple who have waited for 10 years, 20 years for the first initiation. That doesn't really diminish their ability to love Krishna. Just because you have a subscript of Das doesn't make you better than others. So having patience in Krishna consciousness, if your sabji is made with a lot of seasoning, with a lot of patience, it tastes good. If you just mix it, saute it, where the masalas have not gone inside, it doesn't matter. So have patience in Krishna consciousness. And Krishna consciousness in such a way that you add value to Krishna consciousness. Have confidence or faith in Krishna consciousness. Just by adding a name to you doesn't make you right or wrong. And always be enthusiastic. There are a lot of devotees who are so-called not administrative-wise, not initiated, but they have all the qualities of being enthusiastic in serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And they go to odd hours in the temple and still serving countless years. And following principles, avoid material association unfavorable to bhakti, which is very, very important. Anytime I think about this, I think about Mother Kaikeyi, what a great personality she had. But all of that had to be put into trash because of wrong association. It's all about association. And our bhakti starts with A for association. And if you have the right association, if you do not avoid the wrong association, we are going to go for a toss. And also have heroism built into our acharyas, that they are heroes of their own light. How they used to go at the time, the kings, in Muslim invaders used to create problem, and how these personalities were so strong. Srila Prabhupada coming to this country, landing in Boston in Jaladuta, when we all travel, even 14 to 16 hours of flights makes us sick. But Srila Prabhupada coming with multiple heart attacks. How much pain they took for the. So beautifully explained by Utsaha, enthusiasm, Nishchat, confidence, Dharya, patience, Tat karma, activities favorable to devotional service. If festivities are arousing you into Krishna consciousness, a lot of devotees get excited by Rath Yatra because they will go to any extent in driving hundreds of miles for Rath Yatra. So be it. Do the right thing which is favorably touching the nerves of Krishna consciousness. Sangha Tyaga, by giving up the association of non-devotees, which is a very important thing. And Vritte, by the 6 paths of devotional service. And this, the 9 processes of bhakti, very nicely explained by Prahlad Maharaj, about hearing, chanting, remembering, serving, worshipping, offering, acting as the Lord's servant, making friends with the Lord's surrendering. These are the rasas you can all experience. But behind this thing, you need to have these 6 traits. So think about the paths of devotional service being these 9, and then you have 6 aspects, 6 principles you apply. Even if you are doing Shravana, have enthusiasm so that you wake up every day at 6:30 and then hear Krishna consciousness. Have confidence in the words of the Lord. Vyasadeva wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. Have patience. Align, have things, do things which are favorable to Krishna consciousness, and give up association of non-devotees. Because soon you give up association with non-devotees, your bhakti will increase. And once you start associating with non-devotees, you will become a very prajalpa oriented, and you will become, you'll have prone to quarrel and hypocrisy. And always have faith in the previous acharyas, because previous acharyas, they have taken so much difficulty. Some of them can't even walk properly, but for the pleasure of the devotees and the Lord, they're just serving and serving and serving. So a lot to get inspired by this verse. I can go on and on, but would like to end here because I'm not feeling well. So like to end here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any question, comments, reflections, please mention to speak up. Any comments, Prabhuji, Mataji? Any reflections, any realizations?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, the Pranam of Krishna.
No questions, Prabhuji. It's very nice. And I see like you are finishing up early. It is so nice to hear from you.
Yeah, for some reason, I got a bout of some infection, I think. So, but I wanted to, when Sivasa Prabhu reached out in the morning, I thought I'll speak little and then hear your points, because it's not, Bhagavad Gita is a FAQ, and more we hear from others, it is good for us. So I would like to hear your comments, questions, reflections. So that will really enrich me in my ability to understand the scriptures. If you have any thoughts, please share them.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. Okay.
Krishna.
Like when you started like today's class, it was very nice, like how we have so much enthu in the beginning, and slowly it's going down. So, and I just wanted to hear more from you, if you can continue for 15 more minutes, and everything is like feeling the same way, the way you are saying.
Yes, definitely. I'll speak. So, Madhulila Mataji, I see, welcome back. I see you. You used to be an ICNJ before. Thank you so much. You have any comments, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, what you said today really touched my heart because I've just landed from India where everything is like a lot of people and a lot of noise, a lot of festivities every time. And the place where I am, it's like quiet. I'm in Allentown. So the same thing came in my mind. I was alone in the afternoon in the house and I was not feeling it to be Dasara. I said, Kya karu? What do I do to bring that enthusiasm, that I have to welcome Ram in my life, and all those thoughts were going on. I said, okay, let me make kalakand. I got milk and then I made fresh paneer and then I made kalakand and I lit up diyas. And then when my husband walked home and I was like, oh, today is Dasara, we have lit up the diyas, I made kalakand, yay, let's welcome Lord Ram. And in the house, I didn't have, so far I have limited data, so I was not using my data. And I had some Krishna bhajans and welcoming Krishna songs. And so I was singing those songs and I was imagining, okay, I'm welcoming Ram. And I was like, I was saying, Meena, ho kya gaya tere ko? What's happening to you? I said, no, 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 I have to be enthusiastic. Today is, and I'm all alone. I have to be enthusiastic.
Yes, yes. Yes.
And then I just forced myself to be enthusiastic. And I'm so happy that when I came on the lecture, I said, okay, I have some association of devotees today evening. Aur kya chahiye. And here also there was enthusiasm. I said, my day is made. Thank you so much for bringing up this topic of like how you tend to become so, also this point what you made, you tend to take yourself so much, you tend to take this process for granted. Your chanting also sometimes goes so mechanical, where you have to put enthusiasm in your chanting. And so I try my best to do that. And thank you for motivating me through this class. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So thank you, Mataji. Nice points. And to just add to your point and to Anjana Mataji's point, um, see, most of the time there are a lot of cults or um, a lot of methods, a lot of principles which you see outside. You just open YouTube, you see there is a huge sect in South India, in different places, and there's a huge competition, not in the right sense, but in a way wherein we think that by chanting this holy name, by following these regulatory principles, waking up at 4:30 in the morning, is it really the real thing? And quite a lot of times you see in temples also, we have brahmacharis. They stay, they repose faith, they get enthusiastic, and later they cannot keep up with that enthusiasm. And that is exactly why Rupa Goswami is saying our process may become dry for some of us, but our process is foolproof. Actually, if you think about the chanting of the holy name, it's not just followed by us. Muslims do it. They chant the name of Allah. Christians do it. They chant the name of Jesus Christ. So this is ephemeral. This is something which is there for all of. But in light of a social situation where we live with so many others, we have a lot of challenges. And this is where this nectar of instruction is so relevant. It just gives us a alert mechanism to think that we have challenges in pursuing our Krishna consciousness, and how can we sort of hear something like you mentioned, you came from a different area, and then you found in the middle of Allentown where there is not much devotee connection, and everything starts with association, and how indirectly through internet you started reaching out to the rickshaws and connections, and then you have ability to staying connected. And this is the example Srila Prabhupada uses as to how Srila Prabhupada was to use, he will dictate, and then he'll use an instrument to, record it, and then later his disciples will, decode that and put it into books, and how he used to really stay connected with Krishna consciousness. At the time, that it was not even, it's not as well connected as you are feeling, because now there's internet everywhere. So to your point, Mataji, we have to find ways to stay connected, and that is where, when you see there's a lot of activity happening, there's yatras coming up, there is Kartik Yatra coming up, and the holy place of Vrindavan is going to become even more holy because the timing is right. And then you have the Kartik month, which is coming up. So we have a new way of approaching things. And also, to the Anjana Mataji's comment about what happens is, initially we have a lot of enthusiasm because there is something new happening. We are getting regulated. We are the entire family is coming together. Our entire family is doing some service here and there. And then what happens? And this is a practical example in ISKCON as well. So, and this is a question which was asked to us during our Diksha process. What happens is, in temples, management changes. Sometimes your way of doing things is not aligning with your prior or the current. So what happens is, at the time, your enthusiasm goes for a toss. And that is where our seniors always mention, have faith in scriptures. Because at a time when there is going to be dodgy in our ability of having confidence in Krishna consciousness, having strong faith in scriptures will eradicate all of these no more lack of enthusiasm. So that's the reason why any form of scriptures which are written by Vaishnavas, which are written by Vyasadeva, most of our scriptures are written by Vyasadeva, who is a incarnation of the Supreme Personality of God. So always having, there is, and our brahmacharis have simplified access to the scriptures by giving lectures. So always having that element of relationship with scriptures goes a long way in our ability to stay enthusiastic. And sometimes the example I always meditate on, Govind Maharaj used to have a lot of pain in his body. In Bhubaneswar, he used to have a lot of pain. He can't sit, he can't stand. But what will happen is, 4 people will lift him up, and they will take him in between devotees. We're talking about early 90s, where there is to be a lot of Americans and Australians in Bhubaneswar. So Govind Maharaj will be lifted. He'll have so much of pain. Then they will just place him on the Vyasasana, and then he will be speaking Srimad Bhagavatam glories for 3 hours, 4 hours, as if there is no pain at all. And he will continue that journey for so long, and then all the pain will go away, and then he is back to. So always trying to have that relationship with scripture is very can have enthusiastic intent on our lives. Was that okay? Any other comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes. I would like to add up like a few more things. The same thing about the antho, antho is like, I can say, craving for that reading scriptures. That's how I started. And I got this association and that Rath Yatra exposure. I'd see these things were missing in the north side of India, like where I was born and brought up. And they are just like adding up like a very great like boost to my, I can say, spiritual, like my fulfillment. And Antho is still there, but what happened, I miss I don't have sufficient time to read the scriptures or with the chanting. So I got fluctuated between reading and chanting. That's what's happening. And another thing, like how we feel like health-wise also, if I'm like participating in devotional services, or if I'm in the temple or doing any garland seva, I'm feeling fine. And if I am out of the temple, oh, this thing happening, this is aging, or this triggered, this is like in the temple, or when we are reading or doing all these things, we forget about this. But then when we end up doing material things, again, all these things are coming back. Oh no, my head is hurting, my ear hurting, this hurting. So I feel that why these things are not hurting when we are doing devotional services.
Mhm. Mhm. Yes, yes, that's a good realization in the sense that whenever you're doing something selfless for the pleasure of the Lord, then your personal dedication and your personal pain goes away because you're completely surrendered, and the Lord is indirectly coming to take the pain from you, and that's when you have the ability to have a daring attitude, and Lord is protecting you. And once you are into and there is and this is where I really want to say something. If at all you are thinking that staying connected with scripture is becoming tough, but someday, like in ISKCON, we have this systematic study of Bhagavad Gita, culminating with Bhakti Sastri, Srimad Bhagavatam, culminating with Bhakti Vaibhav. So those are some of the courses. They are all e-courses now. If at all you have, if you enroll in all of them, then what will happen is it will put or set some order in our life, in our ability to stay connected with scriptures. So this is something which many devotees are starting, because initially all the excitement is gone, and the service is all becoming stereotyped, garland making this. Now time to get more serious. So this is where Bhakti Sastri, Bhakti Vaidhava enrollment is going to help in our ability to stay connected. Just a thought.
Yes, Prabhuji, yes. I think that's what's now missing.
And also, none of us are perfect, and that is where some things may work for someone, some things may not work for someone. So as long as you take counsel from a peer devotee, and devotees are very powerful. Lord Krishna has mentioned that he is actually a servant of his devotees. Lord Krishna is so merciful that he is a servant of his devotees. So sometimes some of the greatest devotees of the Lord is served by the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. Balram is served by Krishna many times. You might have seen Srimati Radharani is served, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu served Nityanand Prabhu, and so many other Vaishnavas in that in our parampara. So our method is servant of the servant of the servant, and sometimes our devotees have experienced things you can't even imagine. So our devotees are very intelligent in their ability to stay connected. They will have their own way to stay connected. So taking some points from them is awesome. Okay.
Sure. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. And feel better soon.
Hare Krishna, I'm requesting all devotees in this group, if you all have any contacts here in Allentown, please give me, because I'm feeling all alone and lost. So I would be happy to associate with somebody with like-minded thinking. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I would suggest you better move from Allentown to us over here in New Jersey. I used to work in Philly, and I know someone, he is working in Allentown, but like mostly traveling. I'm not picking the options for like travel or relocation, but I know how it is over there. So find a job over here and move over here if you can do that. Even I feel far from temple. It's taking me like, if in traffic, 60-minute drive for me. But I'm doing every week. I'm trying. If I don't do that, and then it's like, it's not a good feeling. Since I started, I cannot stop. Now that I know for sure.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah. And daily you can attend these classes and you will feel connected to us.
Yes, ma'am.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Take care.
Thank you.
Hari.
Can I see you, Mataji? Can you put on your video?
Oh, sure. Okay. Can you see? Actually, I can show. I am sitting in my home temple, and I can.
Yes, Dandavat
show
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
With my scriptures, but I don't know how to switch to that.
No, I can see you, Mataji. I can see
Okay. Here.
So sweet.
I'm not able to switch through via Zoom or maybe, and I can show my scripture pitara over here if you can see the stack of my books, and some I have at other places.
Right.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So let's end here, unless anybody has any more comments. So in today's Dasara, what a day where the victory of evil, victory over evil was done today, and the Dasara is an inspiration, and there are so many nice talks on Zoom today. Today in the morning, I was hearing that Govind Prabhu from Bombay was giving a fantastic lecture on the Dharma that we can learn from Ramayana. So many things, not just corporate lessons, or life lessons. So just take a moment to relish the power of Ramayana, and as the victory over evil prevails, and happy Dasara to all of you. So just requesting Mr. Guru to end here, if there's no question.
Okay, Jai. Thank you, Hema Jagannath, for taking a class, even though you're not feeling well. And thank you so much. Your enthusiasm is exemplified in today's class. Thank you so much. So, dear devotees, if any other comments or reflections, any other questions, any other concerns you'd like to add?
Can you hear me, Prabhuji?
Yes. Please go ahead.
Yeah. I just want to say one reflection. I think the Mataji was mentioning about connection. I'm relatively new. I'm, coming there for probably 5 months now. The way I'm finding is I'm not able to find time to stop. I subscribed all social media now. Nothing pops up because the social media intelligence, if you keep watching one program or one channel, they keep suggesting that. So that's how my Facebook, my YouTube, my Instagram, everything is filled with Krishna and their messages. So I listen to some exemplary gurus across the world. So I'm following. Recently got in touch with
Seems like something is happening. Okay.
And that's how it's basically keeping me busy. In fact, literally, I don't have time. I have to take out time for other activities like work. So I'm so immersed now. I can only think of Krishna all the time.
Awesome. Prabhuji, you mentioned you got in touch with who? You just got caught up.
I just connected in terms of like last 2 weeks back we had the session with Swayam Bhagavan Keshav Swami Maharaj.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. And
Wonderful.
Maharaj is not just a young sannyasi, but he is so realized, and his wisdom of Bhagavad Gita is unparalleled. The way, and that is why the same Bhagavad Gita is spoken. Arjuna has taken it to a higher level, and Maharaj, his wisdom on Bhagavad Gita is exemplary. So, I'm glad that Maharaj is connecting you, and Maharaj has a wonderful video in YouTube, which with a lot of hits. He talks about why Krishna consciousness, how Krishna consciousness, when Krishna consciousness, and
Yeah.
and beautiful. He's sitting on a flat with two Prabhujis. He and another, at the time Maharaj was Sutapa Das. So you can Google that, and that really can open the eyes of Krishna as to why Krishna consciousness.
He gives 18 reasons why people should read Bhagavad Gita.
Nice.
A 3-part series, and it's amazing.
Awesome. And that connected you. You're rightly inspired, and you are always focusing on Krishna consciousness. That means you are exactly on the right track. So you have the utsaha, as Rupa Goswami is saying. So just keep that up, and it will be wonderful. You'll just relish it forever. Just keep it going.
Yes, Prabhu. Association is so important.
Yeah.
I'm realizing that. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you so much, Surya Prabhu. So, if nothing else, tomorrow is Ekadashi. It's the Pashankusha Ekadashi. Fast from grains and beans, and minimally fasting from grains and beans, and engage more in the chanting and hearing. So we'll be having a class tomorrow evening as well, and tomorrow morning as well. So please join and try to take this advantage of having these classes, hearing these classes, and this way we can purify more and more, so we can engage more and more. When we hear, it's a different experience, different realization when we hear from the devotees. So thank you so much. And also this Saturday is Kartik month is starting, Damodar month is starting. So devotees can engage more, and as it's mentioned that we can have more determined. So these classes will help us. Dedication, determination, patience, dhairya, all these are we needed. So this is the way that we can progress more and more in bhakti. That's our perfection of the life. Otherwise, it's another, surah, another waste of time. Yeah, please try to do and engage more and more, and hear and chant and associate and engage in the devotion physically. So this is our life. This is Krishna conscious life. This devotee's life. So thank you so much. Today is also a very auspicious day of Ramachandra Vijay also, Dasara. And Hema Jagannath Prabhu touched upon it, the importance of this day, the victory over evil. So evil or victory over Ravana. Ravana had 10 heads. These 10 heads were representing different other anarthas. It's not that even just cut down one, another one is coming up immediately on the head. The 10 heads, 20 hands. And all utilized for this all demoniac activities. Let's say people have more and more when they engage in the demoniac activities, they try to get more and more. So even if it is cut down one head, the more will come. So this is the demoniac nature. Then finally, Lord Ram shot the arrow at the heart, not even the heart, it's actually little below the heart. So Ram knows that where to put. Only Ram knows. So that's why we need to worship, approach the Supreme Lord. Lord knows that how to take out all these anarthas from our heart. When we try a lot, it's very difficult. So that's why we need to chant the holy name. We need to approach the Supreme Lord. Only Supreme Lord can purify us, the name and the holy name, everything. Yes, of course, through the devotees. So thank you so much. That's the victory over evil. That's we all can take up this sankalpa that today is Ramachandra Vijay also. Remembrance of that Supreme Lord, Sri Lord Ram, Sri Lord Krishna, that please help us. Please shoot that arrow in our heart so that all these evils can be eradicated and take us in your lotus feet so that we can serve you all the time with that consciousness. That's the Ramachandra Vijay also. Thank you so much. And let's conclude today's class. I think today we are concluding a little early. It's 8 o'clock. Okay. Thank you so much. Let's conclude. Vancha kalpatarupasya kripa sindhubhyevacha patidanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Vaishnavanda ki jai. Nandara Sri Ubadeshamrita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Rupa Goswami ki jai. Ananda Gaudi Vaishnavanda ki jai. Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari.
Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, dear devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Hare